Guys, have you ever sat alone in your room at 2 in the morning staring at the glowing blue light of your smartphone screen? You scroll through your contact list, sliding past dozens or even hundreds of names. You open your messaging applications and see old group chats that used to explode with activity every single hour of the day. You remember the endless jokes, the spontaneous weekend plans, the late night conversations, and the warmth of feeling like you were part of something real. Yet, as you look at those screens tonight, there is nothing but silence. You have contacts you could technically message, but something deep inside holds you back. A quiet, heavy voice in the back of your mind asks a terrifying question: who am I actually close to right now? If I vanished from social media for an entire month, who would genuinely notice and who would actually care? This feeling is one of the most painful experiences a human being can go through. It is a suffocating sense of emptiness that is difficult to explain to anyone else. It is the strange, haunting sensation of living in a silent world, even while standing in the middle of a crowded city street. And what makes this experience even more frustrating is that it seems to hit us hardest precisely as we transition into adulthood. When we were younger, in school or college, friendship felt effortless. We were thrown into the same buildings every day for years. We shared the same schedules, suffered through the same exams, and had endless free time to waste together. Connection was the default state of life because our environment forced us into proximity. Then adulthood happens, life accelerates. People get busy with demanding careers, long work shifts, marriages, mortgages, and children. Some of your closest friends move across the country for better job opportunities, while others quietly drift into entirely new social circles that match their changing lifestyle. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, your circle of friends begins to shrink. The bustling group chat fades into occasional birthday wishes once a year. Before you fully realize what is happening, you find yourself sitting alone in a room, feeling an overwhelming distance between yourself and the rest of the world. When this heavy weight settles on your chest, your mind immediately looks for something to blame. You start wondering what is wrong with you. You ask yourself if you are too boring, too awkward, too needy, or simply unlikable. You wonder if you made some invisible mistake that pushed everyone away. But have you ever paused to think about what is actually causing this feeling? Why does loneliness exist in the first place? Why does it feel so excruciatingly painful? And why do so many people feel completely isolated even when they are surrounded by hundreds of acquaintances? Many people make the massive mistake of assuming that loneliness is simply a matter of being physically alone. They assume that if you are by yourself in a room, you will feel lonely, and if you are surrounded by a group of people, you will feel connected. But reality is far more complex than that simple equation. If loneliness was purely about physical proximity to other human bodies, then anyone who enjoys spending a quiet weekend alone in their bedroom would always feel miserable. Yet we all know people who can spend entire days in total solitude, reading books, working on creative projects, or listening to music and feel completely peaceful and satisfied. On the flip side, we have all experienced or witnessed the exact opposite. Think about being at a massive music festival, a loud party, or a crowded corporate networking event. You are literally surrounded by hundreds of human beings who are laughing and talking. Yet as you stand in the middle of that room, you feel entirely unseen, misunderstood, and isolated. You feel like a ghost floating through a crowd of strangers. Why does that happen? It happens because the primary root of loneliness is not a lack of people around your physical body. It is a lack of deep, meaningful emotional connection. The legendary neuroscientist John Cacioppo from the University of Chicago devoted decades of his life to unraveling the mystery of human connection and isolation. Through extensive research, he demonstrated that loneliness is not a physical state of being alone. Instead, it is a psychological signal that alerts us when our existing social relationships are lacking depth, meaning, or alignment with our underlying emotional needs. Your brain does not care about how many phone numbers are saved in your device. It does not care how many followers view your daily updates. Your brain is searching for genuine emotional resonance. It wants to know that another human mind truly understands you, values your presence, and sees the real person underneath the superficial surface. When that deep sense of emotional connection is missing, your brain registers a profound biological deficit. And when that deficit occurs, the brain generates the psychological warning light that we recognize as loneliness. It is a biological nudge telling you that your current social environment is not satisfying your fundamental need for human bonding. Knowing that loneliness is a natural biological response is comforting, but it still leaves us with a major question. Why does an emotional emotion feel so physically painful? Why does feeling disconnected leave an actual physical ache in your chest? To understand why loneliness hurts so much, we have to look back thousands of years into human evolutionary history. Our ancient ancestors did not survive in the wild by being the fastest, strongest, or most dangerous creatures on the planet. Humans do not have sharp claws, thick fur, or massive jaws. Our ultimate evolutionary superpower was our ability to cooperate in tightly knit tribes. Thousands of years ago, staying connected to your group was literally a matter of life and death. If an early human was cast out from their tribe or separated in the wilderness, their chances of survival plummeted to almost zero. An isolated individual could not hunt large game alone, defend against predators, or stay warm during harsh winter storms. Because separation from the group meant almost certain death, the human brain evolved a powerful survival mechanism to prevent isolation. That mechanism was loneliness. Just like physical pain evolved to warn you when your body is being physically damaged, so you will pull your hand away from a hot flame. Loneliness evolved as an emotional alarm system to warn you when your social bond is fracturing. It is an instinctual warning system designed to drive you back toward the safety of the tribe. Modern brain imaging technology has revealed something absolutely incredible about how this mechanism functions in our nervous system. When neuroscientists put lonely individuals into brain scanners, they discovered that social rejection and emotional isolation activate the exact same regions of the brain that handle physical pain, specifically the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. When you feel left out, excluded, or completely disconnected from the people around you, your brain processes that emotional trauma using the exact same pathways it uses when you burn your hand or break a bone. Your brain does not view loneliness as a minor emotional inconvenience. It views social isolation as an immediate threat to your physical survival. Because your brain interprets chronic loneliness as a continuous survival threat, it keeps your body in a constant state of high alert. This is where the danger of long-term social isolation becomes terrifyingly real. When you experience chronic loneliness, your nervous system continuously pumps stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline through your bloodstream. Your body remains locked in a subtle, perpetual state of fight or flight. Over time, this constant flood of stress hormones elevates your blood pressure, damages your blood vessels, disrupts your deep sleep cycles, weakens your immune system, and triggers chronic inflammation throughout your entire body. In recent years, major health organizations, including the World Health Organization, have raised global alarms regarding the health risks of chronic loneliness. Scientific studies have shown that prolonged social isolation carries a health risk comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. It increases the risk of heart disease, strokes, clinical depression, severe anxiety, and premature mortality. If you spend your days feeling deeply isolated, trapped in your room, and coping with unhealthy lifestyle habits, you are essentially accelerating the degradation of your physical and mental health. When people feel this intense level of emotional pain, their natural instinct is to eliminate the pain as quickly as humanly possible. Unfortunately, because modern society offers countless cheap distractions, millions of people fall into dangerous and toxic coping mechanisms that ultimately make their loneliness far worse. Think about what most people do when they feel empty and disconnected. They reach for their phones and begin doom scrolling through short videos for 6 hours straight, chasing rapid spikes of dopamine to numb the emotional ache. Others head to social media comment sections to provoke arguments, leaving provocative or aggressive statements just to get replies, because even negative attention feels better than being ignored by the world. Some people force themselves into toxic social environments where they are constantly disrespected, pretending to be someone they are not just to have a seat at a table where they do not belong. Others stay trapped in unhealthy, emotionally abusive romantic relationships simply because the terror of facing an empty room feels far more terrifying than living with constant disrespect. The fundamental flaw with all of these quick fixes is that they are nothing more than temporary, emotional bandages. Scrolling through social media feeds or engaging in artificial online arguments might distract your brain for a few minutes or hours, but the moment you put the screen down and the room falls silent again, that hollow feeling returns with double the intensity. You cannot solve a genuine lack of human connection with artificial digital distractions or superficial interactions. So how do we actually break free from this painful trap? How do we move away from the suffocating weight of loneliness and build a life filled with real meaning, deep connections, and emotional strength? The very first step on this journey requires a complete shift in your internal self-talk. You must stop blaming yourself for feeling lonely. Feeling isolated is not proof that you are a failure as a human being. It does not mean you are fundamentally defective or unlovable. It is simply a clean, biological signal from your brain letting you know that your emotional needs are currently unmet. Once you stop punishing yourself, you need to accept a fundamental truth about human relationships. Quality will always matter far more than quantity. You do not need a massive entourage of 50 friends to feel fulfilled. You do not need to be the most popular person in the room or have thousands of online followers. In reality, having just one or two genuine loyal friends who truly understand your mind, respect your values, and accept you for who you are is worth far more than having 100 superficial acquaintances who only show up when times are easy. To find those genuine connections, you must stop searching for random friends in generic places. The fastest and most reliable way to build meaningful relationships in adulthood is through shared interests and aligned values. When you bond with people over shared activities, the pressure to make forced small talk completely disappears. You already share a common language and a common passion. Look for real-world or online communities that focus on things you genuinely care about. Whether that is a sports team, a run club, a book discussion group, a board game community, a coding workshop, a local volunteering project, or a creative arts workshop, shared environments create natural bridges between human beings. You do not have to jump directly into overwhelming real-life gatherings if you are feeling anxious. You can begin by participating in online spaces centered around your hobbies, sharing your thoughts, and gradually building familiarity with like-minded individuals. However, as you navigate these communities, you must keep another vital principle in mind. Genuine human connection is a two-way street that requires active effort. Far too many people sit back in isolation, waiting for someone else to reach out to them, waiting for an invitation, or waiting for someone to magically understand their inner world. But relationships are bridges that must be built from both sides. If you want deep connections, you must have the courage to open the door first. Do not be afraid to initiate conversations, invite someone for a coffee, or suggest working on a project together. Yes, taking the initiative means exposing yourself to the possibility of rejection. Someone might be too busy, or you might simply not click with them emotionally. But rejection is a completely normal part of human interaction. Rejection does not mean you are inadequate. It simply means that specific match was not right. When a connection does not work out, you simply shake it off and continue moving forward until you find people who match your wavelength. Now, as you work on actively building these new relationships, there is another extraordinary transformation you must undergo. You need to change how you relate to being alone. There is a massive life-changing difference between feeling loneliness and practicing solitude. Loneliness is a state of emotional starvation where you feel tormented by a lack of connection with others. Solitude, on the other hand, is the noble art of enjoying and appreciating your connection with yourself. Loneliness drains your energy, while solitude restores your soul and builds immense inner power. Most people fear being alone because when the background noise of the world shuts off, they are forced to face their own thoughts, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. So they run away from solitude, filling every free second with noise, television, or mindless social media. But if you can master the art of solitude, you unlock one of the greatest advantages a human being can possess, which is uninterrupted time and focused mental clarity. When you are alone, you possess the raw material required to rebuild your life from the ground up. You have time, and time can be converted into high-value skills, deep wisdom, physical health, creative achievements, and long-term financial stability. Instead of spending hours grieving over why your phone is silent, you can intentionally channel that solitary energy into building something powerful. You can learn a new language, train your body to peak physical fitness, read transformative literature, master a complex technical skill, or launch a personal enterprise. During this intense period of personal growth and skill development in your solitude, having access to proper digital resources, software applications, and continuous learning platforms is absolutely critical. For purchasing or subscribing to official apps or licenses, you can simply get them at softbank.id. Equipping yourself with legitimate tools ensures that your self-improvement journey remains smooth, professional, and completely uninterrupted as you build your future. When you shift your perspective in this manner, solitude stops being a painful curse and transforms into your greatest competitive advantage. When you are sitting in a quiet room, stop asking yourself why nobody is reaching out to you today. Instead, ask yourself what incredible project, skill, or mental strength you can construct with the uninterrupted time sitting right in front of you. This quiet chapter of your life, which feels so empty on the surface, might actually become the most important turning point of your entire existence. When you dedicate your solitude to self-improvement, something magical happens to your social life. As you develop real skills, build self-discipline, cultivate deep knowledge, and respect your own journey, your personal value elevates naturally. You project a quiet aura of confidence, self-reliance, and emotional maturity. High-quality people are naturally drawn to individuals who are grounded, focused, and comfortable in their own skin. By learning to love your own company, you paradoxically become far more magnetic to the right kind of friends and partners. Loneliness is not the end of your story. It is merely a pause, a biological reminder that you are built for meaningful connection. Start reaching out to communities that share your passion. Have the courage to initiate real conversations. Stop settling for superficial interactions or toxic environments just to escape an empty room. And above all else, embrace the solitude of this present moment to build a mind, a body, and a life that you are truly proud of. If you have ever felt this weight, or if you are currently navigating a silent season in your life, take a moment to drop a comment below and share your story. Let us build a community here where everyone realizes they are not alone in this fight. Keep working on yourself, stay resilient, and keep building your future.